In the last few days, South African mining magnate and president of Mamelodi Sundowns was officially elected to take the Confederation of African Football to its new dawn. On today's episode, we honor the legacy of a man that has left an indelible mark on African football and beyond. We also give you the shocking story behind why the Cairo and Dar es Salaam Derby was suspended till further notice. Igamalami Uadelani Folashayo Gurinade. Welcome to you and yours to this special edition of the FA Show, where we are graced by the presence of Essi Kadebe and an icon. Stick around to know who I'm talking about. Ungaindao. The home of football excellence, the FA Show, is a weekly opportunity for you to test your football knowledge. Today, I simply want to know, who did Dr. Patrice Motsepe replace in 2021 as the CAF president? Well, I'll be giving you the answer later on in the show, but before I do that, let's talk to the analyst that has been on the show so many times unopposed, and he could do as many terms as he wants on this football show, if you get what I mean. Essi Kadebe, welcome to the FA Show.
Thank you, Ade. Unopposed, we are here.
Essi, let's talk about the 14th Extraordinary General Assembly.
Yeah.
Now, the name Dr. Patrice Motsepe, what does it mean to you?
Oh man, what a name. Dr. Patrice Motsepe comes in as a mining magnate, but the focus is not there. The focus is on his football brain. You know, I say football brain in a sense that you look at what he has done into the African continent. He's brought amazing things. You look at women's football, what he's brought in. The price increases in their football. You look at what he's done in terms of the AFCON space. AFCON right now, it's one of the biggest tournament that is widely watched in Africa. I mean, we've got about from 14.4 million viewers to 22.2 million.
Wow.
Because of his tenure. You look at that alone, it speaks volumes.
Yes, in the words of Patrice Motsepe, he says, always keep high standards and never be satisfied with mediocre performances. And since he started, this man has kept the standards high in African football. It keeps getting higher. So I'm sure that he was disappointed when the Cairo Derby and the Dar es Salaam Derby did not stick to those standards that he wants, and both were cancelled.
Yeah, rightfully so. I mean, the main stage is something great, and he's clean. And if you watch the General Assembly, you could tell that even with his communication when he's talking to the delegates, that he's an open-minded person. You know, he brings in people to say, let's talk, let's leave the room transparent. And
SC, the continent wants to know about this Cairo Derby and this Dar es Salaam Derby,
yeah.
Because I was also bothered that I couldn't see the fireworks on our screens. What happened in the Cairo Derby? Why didn't that game happen?
It's really unfortunate that one of the biggest games in the continent didn't happen, Ade. Ahly actually put out a complaint to say, guys, initially we had requested that you guys give us a foreign referee to come and officiate this fixture. And I'll tell you something interesting is that Pyramids also is in the mix in this conversation, but we'll come back to the Pyramids one. You look at the Ahly one and...
So it was all about officiating. The one Pierre Luigi Collini to come out of retirement and officiate the game.
Yeah, I think with their status, they probably could do that. You know, they could bring him back and say, hey, come and officiate this game for us. And it's ideally based around that.
So they don't want an Egyptian referee to officiate the match. They don't want a local referee. They want to make sure that, I mean, what is sparking that idea in them?
You know, Ade, when you say that, to me, it raises a question to say, with so many trophies that they've won, and for the fact that they are saying that they don't want a ref who's from Africa, how did they get where they are? It brings that question mark into my mind. But at the end of the day, they need to be patriotic about their own refs in their own country, and they're not saying a lot about that. They want a foreign referee.
SC, I think they're still scarred from the Super Cup. You could tell from this statement that the club released. It says, we will remain firm in our stance. The match must be officiated by an internationally recognized neutral referee. We cannot accept local referees giving past injustices against our club. If our concerns are not addressed, we will not participate. SC, they really need to have more faith in their local referees, I feel. And some rival fans have accused our Ahly of being an arrogant club.
Yeah, look, I don't think it's been arrogant. And you hear that in terms of that statement alone. Looking at the 2022 conversation, it brings you back to the very same conversation we're having to say they're not well within, outside of their rights to say, hey guys, can we get a ref that's from outside? But at the same time, Ade, we bring in the conversation to say, those leagues that you have won, they were officiated by who? Who was officiating these games? These were Africans officiating these games. Where does it leave the
African football at times can be a dramatic movie with no subtitles, really. Let's move to the second dramatic movie. It's between Yanga and Simba.
Yeah.
What happened in that derby? Why are we not getting that derby?
To answer the question directly, Yanga gets to the, rather, Simba gets to the stadium to have a pre-match, not even a pre-match, to actually practice for the match the day before. And this is what happens. The security tells them that they cannot let them through, and the stadium management, they cannot let them through to use the stadium. Reasons behind that, because the match commissioner is not there. Match commissioner gets there, and the story goes haywire. And literally, this tells you that Yanga were in breach of the rules and regulation in the NPC league. I mean, Article 17 of 45 literally tells you that if a team, let me just sum it up for you. NPC regulates that 2024 found that Article 17 of 45 grants the visiting team the right to hold a final practice match or practice training session. And they were not granted that. Literally, this is what happened between these two teams.
Gianni Infantino said it correctly in the assembly. He said, Africa will achieve so much more if we have unity. And I hope we can see in these stories that we need more unity. We'll be back after the break. Restez à l'écoute.